from Wolfeboro, New Hampshire, and the Wright Museum of World War II. I thought this was an appropriate place to start, being that it is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you dads, grandpas out there. You guys have a very important role in the lives of your families and in this country, as do our members of the armed services. And with Flag Day being yesterday and the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army, combined with the fact that it is absolutely gorgeous out, we thought it would be a great day to come up to the Lakes region. We've got the whole family here this Father's Day. Something Kay really wanted to do. Noah and I have been here, but Nathan and Caleb haven't, so we are going to check out the museum and then check out Wolfeboro. It's an absolutely beautiful town. It's gonna be fun. So yeah, we are on Lake Winnipesaukee here in Wolfeboro. So nice, such a great town. Can't wait to show you guys. Can't believe I haven't shown you guys before, but the weather is finally nice. It's almost summer. It's gorgeous, finally. What a great day to be happy to be in America and take in some awesome World War II history. This place is really, really great. This pinged map. Somebody from North Korea visited the museum. Where are they? I don't know if that's true. Hopefully it is. I want to believe it, but I don't believe it. Easter Island. Dum dum thing. I mean, is a fallout shelter really that bad of an idea? To me, it kind of makes sense. You never know, the world is crazy. So this is an example of a do-it-yourself kind of fallout shelter. I think it's cool. New exhibit. The exhibits rotate pretty frequently. This place is open seasonally, so that's the other reason we're just getting here. It just kind of recently-ish reopened for the season. Again, indoors, heated and cooled. I don't know why it's closed, but New England. But they do have a new Cold War era exhibit, which is very exciting. And here's just some examples of old-style toys. This is going to be part of the permanent collection, though. And here, coming into the first gallery, we've got some remnants of old Wolfeboro itself, the town. Oh. If you guys have not seen the movie, The Glenn Miller Story, one of my favorites, just thinking about it makes me weepy. So good. Glenn Miller, one of the good ones.
Freedom, the Russian and the Chinese. This man is your friend. He fights for freedom.
Oh man, yeah.
It really aged pretty good.
No, that did not age well. That's funny. And if you guys don't know, Walt did a lot for the cause during World War II. If you visit the Walt Disney Family Museum in San Francisco, an incredible museum, by the way, we've been there several times, they have a whole gallery just dedicated to the war effort and what Disney did for it. You know, call it propaganda, but a lot of this went a long way to drum up support and kind of help our national identity and get everybody on the same page. Took a lot of different things to do that, but Disney definitely contributed. They were different times. Walt Disney, also one of the good ones. And this is talking about saving your bacon grease for the cause. Who knew? Collect some of this sweetheart stuff. It's cool because it's so personal.
Yeah.
If you could have anything in this collection, which one speaks to you the most? Just jumping out at you, just at first look.
I think the charm bracelet.
The charm bracelet? Yeah, that's cool. The little box?
The little metal boxes?
Yeah.
They're too small for cigarettes. What did they use those for?
Business cards?
I don't know.
Do they have business cards?
I don't know.
Good question. Something to ponder. So much good stuff. I love this. Noah's just over there totally in his element. Got some young people having a good old time.
No, I guess that they were like an SS. They were only paid 10 cents a day.
A machine shop or
It's a snowmobile now.
petrol station. Oh yeah, this is New Hampshire right here. He's got sleds.
It's called the 1924 Model T Roadster snowmobile.
That's amazing. Ooh, I like her dress. Like I would totally wear that outfit.
Time to change.
That's amazing. I love the lithography on the. I've got a thing for old advertisements and stuff, and the antiques of this era. This is so cool. Like, look at the quality, you guys, of the displays here. This is just really a fantastic museum.
A regular feature of General Mills.
I love the 40s. Don't love the war, but I sure do love the 40s. Folks, most people smoked by then. Another cute dress.
And the St. Louis Cardinals from Sportsman's Park in St. Louis. As at all series games for the past 5 seasons, your radio host is the Gillette Safety Razor Company, which broadcasts Bannerline sports events.
Now we have Gillette Stadium.
Derby, football bowl games, and major boxing bouts for your entertainment month in.
These are really just a look into the time. Oh my goodness. It is not in, you guys, it's not in the Alamo. It's been here all along. My bike. $1941 Western Flyer.
A bonsai charge, and he told his patients to run away while he manned a machine gun. And when they found him the next day, they found him surrounded with 98 dead Japanese soldiers, and he had been shot 76 times and bayoneted several times.
Whoa.
So he saved all of his patients at his hospital, but he was immediately recommended for the Medal of Honor in 1945, but it was denied because as a doctor, he was legally not allowed to even pick up a rifle. And it wasn't until 1998 that they ruled that the Medal of Honor Board ruled that his duty as a doctor to protect his patients overruled that, and his family was given the Medal of Honor.
My gosh.
So it took 54 years after his death for him to be awarded the Medal of Honor.
My goodness. If anyone deserved it, he did. That's amazing.
I think he had a living.
And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Captain Benjamin Lewis Solomon was probably cut from the same cloth as I am, if you guys know what I'm saying.
98 soldiers, was shot
That's amazing,
76 times and bayoneted several times.
Dang. Your hand at a little bit of a plain
So
spotting.
now you've got face down. Here comes the next silhouette. Okay, you see in binoculars, you see only the shape. Front view, side view, top view. So basically you take that. You then call down to the folks, to the other folks on the ground. Do you let the plane land or you shoot it down? Friend or foe? You got 10 seconds. The plane's coming.
Less so, but also neither of them were ever
That's a bad face.
I don't know, so I'm just put it where you think it is. Which one do you think it matches?
I didn't even see a birdcage out a window.
They might have tried naval battles.
Well,
I don't, it's not that
how many
one.
engines do you
It has
have?
4. So
Right.
I'm assuming it's this. I don't know.
And lift up the blue knob. Yes, it's a
Woohoo!
Okay.
Live to see another day.
Okay, Obama or British, you're 3 for 3.
Oh.
These planes will
Yeah.
right?
Why am I having heart palpitations thinking about
Now you
this?
see this plane coming at you. Silhouette
Japanese.
only.
Japanese.
That's Japanese.
I got it wrong. I got it wrong.
Yeah, you just shot
A
down
friendly.
a Wildcat.
Look at that.
That is not good, bro.
That's German. 100%. It's right here.
That's the what? Yeah, okay, you're back in the groove. It's getting easier because there's 2 to choose from.
Yeah, but at that time, Hitler thought that he was done separating. He was going to be able to get them to negotiate.
English?
Spitfire, isn't it?
That's why he got the 2
So with the wings, Spitfire, you're doing good. You're back in the groove.
Especially from a
Okay,
German perspective, they
here's
had
a
already
particular one that's a strange-looking wing.
Japanese. Wings fold in. Right?
That is a weird wing.
Wings fold in, so it's
You
Japanese.
got 3 to choose from.
He's saying it, but like,
Only 3 to
it'd be-
choose from.
It,
you gotta own it.
So you got this one with that one. Yep, it's a gull wing style.
That's interesting.
It's a Corsair.
Okay.
Oh,
Marine Corsair. Now, you got 50-50 chance. You only get 2 left.
Except that wasn't as common as you would think. There were
That's a-
collaborators, but
that's a big
overwhelmingly
part.
the
This is-
native populations did not, and this was their running.
It's easy. One
Yeah.
engine, and there it is.
Yeah.
And so just put it up.
Yeah, I think I got the American.
Yeah, American 2-engine.
So I
Okay.
shot down.
So you shot down 1 out of
1.5.
1 out of 9
Yeah.
friendly fire, but you multiply that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But it was a legitimate thing back in the
Yeah.
time, and it's not easy. But you would have been trained if you were to have really done it, because this is a legitimate position.
Yeah.
Training guides,
Yeah.
and people who actually did that. So,
yeah.
Well, that's
So it's a
Oh.
legitimate thing.
Thank
Did
you
you
for that.
fun?
That was fun.
Fine. Glad you enjoyed it.
Awesome.
All right.
Some pretty fantastical items in here. Showing some bitter resentment over the fact that in 1939
It's still contested.
the Navy Yard was Portsmouth that could remain.
Contested in Navy Yard.
You need a loan now for groceries, but look at that. Gold per ounce, 2067. Last time I checked, gold was well over $3,000 an ounce. 1939, $20, 67 cents. Are you guys seeing just what an incredible museum space this is? The descents are always amazing. So fun. Those prices start going up. Here's a look into 1940. Pinocchio. Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Chicago Cubs win.
especially because Florida is very bad for a public school teacher. It's very poor.
But Hitler's forces overpower Norway, Denmark. Low Countries surrender to Russian army. Prime Minister Churchill offers British blood, toil, tears, sweat. German armor knives into France. Evacuation of British and French troops. On and on. And as far as the U.S. goes, FDR sells Britain 50 overage destroyers. U.S. orders all aliens fingerprinted. Supreme Court rules schools may compel saluting the flag. Draft law passed for swamps. Wilkie wins unprecedented third term. And Ronnie Reagan, at this point, is just a football playing movie star. Now we're in miserable 1941 and the attack on Pearl Harbor.
LeBron James dropped out to join the
Ted Williams plays baseball, joins the military. Now he's got a tunnel named after him in Boston. 1942. It's on. Yes, you could have a victory garden to do your part. Look at even Santa Claus saying, buy war bonds at the museum. These time tunnels here now, we are in 1943. Did Nathan really say that?
Yeah.
Nathan said that's me on that Saturday evening poster. He's not wrong. I love this one. So poignant. Love this. Put the axe to the axis. Look at. Oh, that's great. That's a great poster. Isn't it cool how they've done this like a time tunnel?
Yeah.
I mean, you've been to tons of museums. This is really top notch, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Now we are in 1944.
Santa from Omaha Beach.
Oh. This camera apparently actually took pictures of the Normandy landing. Operation Overlord, which just had anniversary June 6th. It was in 1944. It must have been so scary. I think about that a lot. Homage to the man with the tunnel named after him, Mr. Ted Williams, left fielder for the Boston Red Sox, Hall of Famer, and brave soldier. 36 combat missions, being hit by enemy fire. At least 3 occasions he was awarded 3 air medals prior to being discharged. In 1953, a day after the Korean ceasefire went into effect, so whoo-hoo! Close call. Into 1945, those gold prices are holding at $35 an ounce. Much more joyous here. Definitely. Oh, just stop and think. Those are the years that made the greatest generation. We're losing them every day. Love those guys. Grandfather was a merchant marine. He was on a ship that went down. He was one of only a handful of survivors. He was actually saved out in the Atlantic by the Norwegians. And he ended up having a wonderful career and raising a family, including my mom and my aunt and uncle. They had a very, very nice life, and he was very successful after that. But I know that the war stayed with him and shaped who he was. Looks a little bit like Noah's bedroom. Noah, is that you? You're being really quiet. Noah, at his desk. He won't even look at me. Posters. Here's some fun stuff. Some of the essential equipment. You know that this M1 carbine here was like standard, very popular, very well used, and they would have been very well loved as far as they saw. A lot of action would have been on most of our guys fighting in World War II. Fun personal story about my grandfather. So he had a tattoo on his arm that said Marguerite. And for years and years we would say, you know, who's Marguerite? And he would say it was one of the names of one of the ships that he was on in World War II. We're like, okay, sounds believable. That happened, you know. Especially being a merchant marine, people would get the name of their ship tattooed on their arm. Well, at one of my grandparents' big anniversaries, it was like their 60th or something like that, it came out that Marguerite was not the ship. And if you had already guessed who Marguerite was, you guessed correctly. Apparently, he had a lady somewhere out there on his adventures in the open water, and it was not a very serious thing, but that stayed on his arm for his whole life. Marguerite, whoever this exotic French lady was, or wherever she came in contact with my grandfather, stayed on his arm his whole life, and it was certainly a topic of conversation in our family. Interesting snow tractor here. It says that the M7 snow tractor was designed by the U.S. Army Air Corps as a rescue vehicle for downed pilots. Oh, yeah, that would have been important. There's an ambulance. As much as you hate to see an ambulance, I'm sure many a person saw that coming and knew that relief was on the way. Oh, this is cool. I'd love to drive that. Imagine me coming down the road in that. What the heck is this? Command car. WC-7 command car, half-ton. Built by Dodge in 1941 to 42, command car was developed to give U.S. Army officers and staff mobility on the battlefield. It just looks fun. Classic U.S. Army Jeep. Happy 250th to the U.S. Army. Badass looking bikes here. All right, so lots of people come from all over the world and visit Boston, and they do duck boat tours. Something we've never done, but a lot of tourists and people do enjoy that. And apparently they have a very interesting background. So what is now just a fun little touristy way to get around and see the city, this was once an essential part of the military. was a brainchild of civilians working for the War Department, including Rod Stevens, a yacht designer, and Palmer Putnam, I wonder if he was related to Israel Putnam, an international shipper. They saw a serious need for amphibious cargo truck, and in 1942 built the first duck prototype at GMC plant in Michigan. Their army was unimpressed. But they went to Cape Cod and demonstrated the capabilities of it to a group of Army officers. That night, they demonstrated in a terrible storm that hit the Cape, stranding a Coast Guard ship on the sandbar far from shore. Lifeboats couldn't get through the rough surf, but guess what? Da-da-da-da-da, duck boat to the rescue. And they got into the storm, rescued the crew. The next day the ship was gone, but the duck boat had proven itself. By the end of the war, over 20,000 of these were built, and 60 years later, hundreds of them are still hard at work.
They have an interesting tire gauge, too.
This gauge is part of one of the duck's many unusual features, an integrated tire pressure system to avoid getting stuck in sand or puncturing tires on sharp coral. The drivers could change the pressure of all the tires while driving. Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
We say duck, but it's DUKW, stands for D, model year, U, utility vehicle type, K, front-wheel drive, W, 2 rear driving axles. First, the classification code used by the engineering department at General Motors Corporation to describe the vehicle's features. I will never think about them the same ever again. When I see people waving, going around Boston in them, gosh, I wonder if they have any idea as to the heritage of these bad boys. That is very, very cool. I did not know that. I had no idea. So again, we are very fortunate in this area, and if you guys like World War II and you are coming to New England, the American Heritage Museum over in Hudson and the Wright Museum of World War II here in Wolfeboro, highly recommend. And here is a prosthetic belonged to one John Edmund Guy. Was a gunner on a B-17 bomber. Oh, that was a terrible job. Your odds of living weren't. Yeah. His flying fortress was shot down over Hamburg, Germany. Most of his crew bailed out of the plane, named the Just Nothing. Guy landed in a tall tree behind enemy lines. Hung there most of the day. He tried to slide down the tree, suffered compound fracture just below the knee. With a bone protruding and limiting mobility, he was easily taken as a POW. Gosh almighty. Sent to a hospital in Germany, cleaned up, given a change of clothing, sent to Switzerland, and then back to the U.S. and America. Amazing. Entered Walter Reed Hospital and underwent an operation, which, I mean, that would have been groundbreaking, I'm sure. And learned to adjust to this new artificial leg. Most people never even knew he was missing a limb because he did adjust so well. After the war, he worked at the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, retiring in 1973. And John and his wife Priscilla were among the foundation of Food Pantry in Kittery. He made good use of his life. That's amazing. Was the president of the Kittery Chemical Awareness Program, founded the Kittery Youth Center. She and John worked diligently to make the center a safe place for local Kittery youth to participate in various activities. Oh, God bless him. That's amazing. John Edmund Guy received a Purple Heart Award among several other medals. Died in 2009 at the age of 86. And this is his leg donated by the family. That is amazing. It's a paratrooper uniform similar to what Noah wears when he does reenacting. Hanging by a chute.
We again take you overseas. This is Wright Bryan speaking from London. In the first hour of D-Day by British double summer time, or a little more than an hour before D-Day began by Greenwich Mean Time, the first spearhead of Allied forces for the liberation of Europe landed by parachute in northern France.
Women in uniform. Oh, the nurses, they were crucial. Would have been not only a pretty face, but a friendly, helpful face. And I can't imagine what they went through too, having, they had to practice a little bit of psychology, motherly instinct. They saw a lot too. Saying, we know the Battle of Midway Airport. That's really funny. Yeah, Chicago Midway. They've got some cool displays actually, like a little museum inside the airport there. It's named after the Battle of Midway.
World War II. Everyone has to pitch in on the home front. Girlfriends, sisters, wives, all fill jobs left by men gone to war. Roles are changing, and women volunteer to meet every wartime demand.
Women were doing everything to advance the cause of the war. I mean, if you were not working in the Red Cross, making bandages, or Rosie the Riveter, you were doing something. And this was wonderful to do this for your country and do something that you love.
See, they did it and they were glad to.
One of the most
That's the difference of that generation.
Is the formation of the Women Air Force Service Pilots.
WASPs.
The WASPs.
Yep.
For the first time in history, America would see women in the cockpits of military aircraft.
I'd so do that.
WASP had two objectives. First, support the air effort at home, releasing male pilots for combat duty.
So you guys know that I am afraid of heights and have terrible vertigo, but I love to fly. I don't want to leave the American sector. I want to stay in America, where it's cozy. Okay, this is really cool. This is a new special exhibit. And this is talking about chaplains. Now, chaplains were established by General George Washington. And it was known early on, right with the formation of the United States Army, that it was important to bring courage, peace to one's heart and spirit, and that religion could also often be that vessel. And culturally, of course, during the Revolutionary War, that was on the forefront and foremost in people's minds. It was part of the psyche and who we were with the forming of this nation. And as time went on, it continued to be so, even though it's to a different extent. Early on, it was different Christian denominations that were supported and issued by George Washington, and later on, as we became more of a melting pot, it extended over to more than that. But one thing has not changed, encouraging faith and the spiritual aspects of one's heart and spirit is definitely important to maintain peace in a person's mind and heart, and that's not needed more so anytime, definitely, than in battle. You have priests, pastors, and now, of course, rabbis that would and do serve as military chaplains. 311 Jewish chaplains in the military, World War II, of which 147 were conservative, 96 were Reform, and 68 were Orthodox. That's different sects of Judaism. We call them denominations in Christianity and Judaism. They're sects. The items in this case belong to Yosef Belinsky Perez, who served as a Jewish chaplain in the army during World War II. No official service set for Hebrew worship, so Jewish chaplains collected what they wanted and stored it in what they could find. In this case, an ammo box. How cool is that? And a small first aid kit normally mounted on a vehicle. He decorated both with the Star of David inside the lid, a small box. It's a depiction of the tablets of the Ten Commandments. And we've got here a prayer shawl, also known as a talit, a small menorah, 2 Shabbos candlesticks, a Kiddush cup, a yarmulke, tefillin, a prayer book, Bible. Approximately 550,000 Jews served in the U.S. Armed Forces during World War II, which I've heard some of the stories of Jewish folks who were there and actually saw camps liberated, which is, quite emotional, as it gets really, really personal on so many levels there. As an American, as a Jewish American, yeah. 22 Jews attained senior rank in the armed forces, 18 generals, 6 major generals, 12 brigadier generals, 1 vice admiral, 2 admirals, and 1 commodore. 3 Jewish soldiers were awarded the Medals of Honor. Ben Solomon. Oh, that's the dentist guy downstairs, I told you guys. Isidore Jackman and Raymond Sussman. About 60% of all Jewish physicians below the age of 45 served in the military. Jewish service members were given the option to not indicate their faith on their dog tags, and H at the lower right to avoid maltreatment should they be captured, which, yeah, oof. That would be an interesting decision to have to make. And honestly, it's one that we continue to face today. Like, do you want people to know or not? It is what it is. You've got to face it head on. And even in the face of, you know, some misunderstanding, you got to have courage. But do you put that on your dog tag with the possibility of being captured? I don't know. I don't know. Over here we have a collection of an Episcopal chaplain assigned to 168th General Hospital training at Fort Grant, Illinois. Relocated to the European theater, arrived in France in 1945, and they took over existing 10 hospital for German prisoners of war. Chaplain Harris was promoted to captain in February and performed duties typical of priests and chaplains assigned to the Army. And here's what he would have used. I can see items for communion, prayer books, once again a Bible. Very cool. This wooden cross was made by a German prisoner of war and presented to Captain Harris. Dated 25th of December 1945, right on the back. And it's the same one shown in this picture here. That's crazy. About spying in the Cold War. Kind of turning the page of history here. Yeah. It was you.
No, the cat purrs. Look, they used to have.
Was that the cat or was that you?
The cat. Cat purrs.
You're messing with me. Are you messing with me?
No, the cat purrs. The guy's a spy.
The cat or the guy?
The cat and the guy are spies.
It's a cat spy. Never trust a cat. Notice he's not using a dog because they're loyal. Spy. Okay, I heard it. Wait, was that you or the cat?
No, it's the cat. The cat purrs.
Am I blending in? Do I look like a spy? I'm not here. You can't see me with this hat. I am invisible.
Look, there's spies all over this thing.
I'm still confused about the cat.
There was a bit of a project put together by the CIA to try and send cats over with pretty much listening equipment attached to them, so that way they could listen in on some of the Soviets and what they were talking about, or some of the East German officials, because apparently one of them was known for going out and feeding the strays or whatever, and they figured
they did it.
They figured the cat might end up getting information.
Oh, that makes sense.
Unfortunately, it sounded like a lot of the cats they sent over didn't really work out all that well.
Oh,
apparently, one of them barely even managed to make it across the street.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But it just shows how
deep it went.
Yeah, just how deep it went. A lot of the different ways that the CIA and the United States tried to get information.
Yeah. Makes you wonder what still goes on. La 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 la, I don't want to know. It is Father's Day. There's the ultimate spy, Darth Vader. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, a young filmmaker named George Lucas, who is a distant cousin to Kay, believe it or not, encountered the work of scholar Joseph Campbell, a Scot. Now it all makes sense. It was the 1970s during the height of the Cold War, and Lucas wanted to create a mythical world in outer space. Mythical? Star Wars isn't real? Campbell was an academic who studied myths and legends from around the world. Myths are stories told across generations that address the meaning of life. What is the meaning of life? In Campbell's view, the mythic hero begins a simple quest that becomes a personally, culturally transformative journey. Inspired by Campbell's research, Lucas went on to develop the Star Wars franchise, mapped out a series of 3 film trilogies that would use cinematic storytelling and groundbreaking special effects to bring Campbell's hero's journey to the cosmos. Like earlier generations, many people who came of age in the 70s worried about science and technology approaching on human experience. Like we worry now about AI. It's valid. The impersonal nature of technology created a longing for human connection. In response, Lucas developed the Star Wars mythos, featuring heroes seeking an inclusive version of truth and creating meaning through deep personal connections among beings from across the universe. Okay, that's deep. Within the first few weeks of its premiere, Star Wars, later titled Star Wars Episode, is it the original trilogy or not? 6, 5, 3. A New Hope, to me that's still one, was a cultural phenomenon. I mean, you got 87 Star Wars now. The cantina scene is said to be one of Campbell's favorites, symbolizing the heroic first steps of Luke Skywalker as he learns about the wider world and how to accept beings that are different from him. Really just more tying in about, you know, space age stuff. And, you know, in the 50s, the atomic stuff was really popular and it didn't really end. This is rad stuff from the 80s. Much of it very familiar. I had that putty stuff. Why was that so fun? That's ridiculous. It was, right? And yeah, it continues to be popular. Like I said, there's like 87 Star Wars, so I mean, it just goes to show. Something about it does hit the human psyche. On the elevator here, you can see this ad from Yankee Magazine. Wright Museum of World War II. Best 20th century history museum in New England. Wow. Back to where it all started. Pretty great, right guys? Long time and it went so fast. That was really fun. Oh, how cool. Talking about the importance of agriculture. This is post-World War II agriculture. The rise of high production. That's when we started getting, honestly, lower quality food. Before that, people did grow things at home, and you didn't have the chemicals and the convenience food that the baby boomer generation started to love and got everybody hooked on in America. And we're still seeing the problems with that. Hopefully that gets better soon. I don't know. But victory gardens. In 1942, about 15 million families across America planted victory gardens. By 45, 20 million victory gardens produced around 8 million tons of food. So that is huge to the war effort. Great. So nice out. We're gonna check out Wolfeboro. I'm curious to see how busy it is, like in their little downtown. It is very nice. It is Father's Day. I don't know. Interesting to see. We'll walk around and check it out. Wolfeboro. Yeah, it's busy. Very busy up here.
You can run like your station.
They're working on a train railroad museum. Still not open yet, but they're working on it. This American Liberty Elm was named after the Liberty Tree, our country's first symbol of freedom. I hope you guys watched my Liberty Pole video because I talk more about it there. On the morning of August 14, 1765, the people of Boston awakened to discover effigies suspended from an elm tree in protest of the Stamp Act. From that day forward, the elm became known as the Liberty Tree. It stood in silent witness to the countless meetings, speeches, and celebrations and became the rallying place for the Sons of Liberty. In August of 1775, as the last act of violence to their evacuation of Boston, British soldiers, cut it down. Here is a little honor to that. Right here in Wolfeboro. Not a huge town, but it's a cute town. Straight up hot out. Wow. What a beautiful day to enjoy Lake Winnipesaukee. Isn't that pretty? Popo boat. This is nice. Lots of people out enjoying today. Got some guys fishing behind me. Some kids. And yes, Wolfeboro is known as the oldest summer resort in America. 1770. And these guys caught a little fish. Whoa. Nice. There's a little bakery ice cream shop over here we like. I think we're headed over. Reached the delicious Yum Yum shop. Look at this. This is terrible right here. And we got all kinds of stuff to try. No, and I really like their classic gingerbread. They're soft. I ordered some coffee and iced tea and stuff too, but we got an assortment. Some cinnamon roll cookies, a couple donuts, sugar cookie, butter crunch cookie, 5 gingerbread men. I ate his head. He's delicious. Happy?
Mm-hmm.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
Yummy? Logo, so cute. Good teeth. They do have angry, scary little faces.
Headless horseman.
Oh no! You detached his head from his body. Oh, I said, look, the seagull's a bra. That's a bikini. Does that make more sense?
Same.
I mean, it is. That's not very modest. They have these adorable kid socks. And even though I'm convinced that moose are fake, because we still haven't seen one here. Well, they're real, but only in Wyoming, because that's where I've seen them. These are so cute. I don't think they'll fit any of us. But those are really cute. If I had a kid to buy for, oh my gosh, if I needed a pool float, that's amazing. I love butter. One time, when I was a kid, I climbed up on the table and ate a whole stick of butter. Butter's still a problem for me. I love it. I dare you to knock all these bikes over. You'll have to dance on the table to get out of it. Serving, I think he's gonna do it. He's looking at the ice cream. Nathan loves ice cream. For $285 for like a vacation home. Surveying the real estate here. Here, $924,000. $450. That's a little, but that's cute. Oh.
But that might only be a seasonal place too.
Yeah, I mean, these are very much like vacation camp, what they call them, camps. This looks amazing. I mean, it's 2.2 million, but there's, I wonder if that's really like an old colonial and then that's all add-on, and actually you get like multiple houses. How many square feet is that?
5,000.
Oh yeah, originally built in 1795. How much?
5,948.
5,940. And that history chick, and like Patrick Henry, I know of no way of judging the future but by the past. Thank you so much for hanging out on this beautiful Father's Day. Hope you guys are all doing well wherever you are. We will see you soon. Exciting Bunker Hill things ahead. Like, share, subscribe. I'm also on Instagram at @that_historychick, on Facebook at @thathistorychick, and right here at @thathistorychick with more exciting content to come. We will see you soon. Take care.